Yeah, and I guess that the question now is, we've seen cycles when it comes to whether you want to talk about tech, crypto, metaverse, and then things that are connected to it in the sports realm, or entertainment, fan or viewer engagement, and so on and so forth. The one thing that I've seen is, we've had these two big cycles in crypto specifically, where retail have been very interested, but in this second cycle, the retail interest has died down, brand interest has stayed, as you've kind of mentioned. Has that required a pivot, Mark, from that kind of pure commercialization when it comes to anything metaverse to more down the engagement route?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the market's clearly changed, as you've said. 18 to 24 months ago, we were seeing big sponsorship money in sports. By and large, that's not the case these days. I think we're seeing some of the best projects in Web3 are pivoting away from the pure revenue generation to the fan engagement play. For me, when I have conversations internally, there are three things that I always talk about with regards to the benefits of Web3. Fan engagement is one, data is the second, and the third is just creating new inventory for sponsors. Sport is incredibly congested. Sponsors are really hungry for new inventory and new ways of telling their story. There are certain models in Web3 that really unlock value in each of those three pillars, and I don't see a world in which long-term, if you get it right, those don't generate bottom-line revenue for you.
Say that we as Bertelsmann, specifically in our content divisions, what we are selling is not products or services. We are selling emotions, right? We are selling even a sense of belonging. And when this is all manifested in communities. So we have some of the most powerful communities on the planet within our portfolio. Now the question is going to be, how are we going to monetize them? These strong communities, they have taken decades, years to be built up. So probably in order to understand this new technology and the paradigm shift that is happening, it's going to take a while until you will actually see some substantial revenue. And I think the paradigm shift behind it is that actually what we're seeing right now is that the content side and the advertisement side are actually merging. They're becoming one and the same thing. This is the value proposition of an NFT, right? It's basically provenance of content creator and the community attached. And a brand, instead of spending lots of money on advertisement, I think the future is going to be in an economy of communities. Brands are looking to understand where the communities are actually being created, what is driving these communities, and then they will try to attach themselves to these communities early on. And this is a process that takes time, and this is why I would say it's really not about trying to look for the quick returns. It's actually to be very strategic about it, but then prepared once the time has come.
What is actually the business value that we're looking for? And that can be something as simple as brand awareness, right? When we launched the first BMW campaign, we didn't even have KPIs, But the impact that it made and supporting BMW to have this image that they are actually a brave, innovative company, that is worth much more sometimes, right? So there are things that you can see much, much later, but we're also seeing a lot in just not only what revenue can you get from these projects, but what can you save? We work a lot in fashion, and there's a lot you can do in saving.
And on that note, when you have a successful activation like that, how much easier is it the next time when you're talking to these executives and thinking about, now a variety of routes you can go down? I mean, Mark, you're smiling. We'll get to you in a second, but you are as well.
Yeah, I can give you an example how it's kind of been for us. H&M is a good example. BMW is another one. We started in one department 2 years ago. Some kind of innovative team that has a little budget they can do whatever they want with. And then you climb to the next department that has a little bit more freedom. And then together with them, we have managed to get the top, the HQ, the C-level involved in the whole project. Because every step you take, you have to prove something, if it's the brand awareness or something like that. So small little steps showing, connecting to the rest of the business, to the brand, what this can actually give.
Mark, I can tell from your smile you're resonating with a lot of that.
Yeah, no, it's exactly as the panel described. I mean, our original mandate from our leadership, which by the way is probably the best ever, which is go out, test, maybe fail, try not to spend too much money. That was our original mandate. We launched one project which was super, super simple. And the success of that project has catalyzed everything for us this year. I mean, even 2 weeks ago, I was in Roland Garros speaking with player agents, and player IP is something that we as the tour don't have any right to commercialize, and typically everyone says just don't touch player IP. You start talking about a small project, and you look at the numbers, and you look at the revenues we generated. All of a sudden, those conversations are becoming so much easier. So it's a snowball.